Welcome everyone to part 2 of my PSSA review practice test. In this video we're going to cover questions 13 to 24. Okay, question number 13, we're going to be multiplying two matrices. And main thing you have to remember with multiplying two matrices together, it's not a simple matter of multiplying corresponding entries. What we're going to do is to find the first entry that's located in the first row, first column, we are going to multiply 4 times -1 and add -1 times 0, which is 0, add them together and we get -4. The second entry located in the first row, second column, requires that we use, once again, the first row of the first matrix and the second column of the second matrix. 4 times -3 is -12, plus -1 times 6 is -6. The sum is -18. And just from this, we can see that my answer has to be C. One other little note, that if you know how to use a graphing calculator, you know how to edit matrices, you can simply edit the two matrices. Second and the inverse key brings up the matrix menus. You can go over to edit the two matrices. There's matrix A. Once you have that entered, it's a matter of just taking A times B in your calculator, and you can see here answer is C. Question 14 is a relatively simple probability question where we have a total of 18 marbles, 8 red, 10 green, and we actually take a green marble away and we put it off to the side, and we want to know the probability that the next marble is going to be a green marble. So we had a total of 10 green marbles, but we took one out, so now we only have 9 green marbles. So that's the chances of being successful, 9 out of the total. Well, we originally had 18, we took one away, now there's only 17 marbles, so 9 out of 17 is the probability of successfully pulling out a green marble. So answer G. Okay, question number 15 deals with a scatter plot, and we're asked to write an equation of the best fit line. And if you notice, all the answers were in the form y equals mx plus b. So this line, hopefully you can clearly see that it is a positive slope, which leaves either A or B. And the fact is the y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis, is a positive value, which leaves us with an answer of B. Okay, number 16. Be careful with number 16. Number 16 is going to be dealing with the volume of a rectangular prism or a box, which you should know the volume is length times width times height. Now remember, you have a formula sheet that you can always refer to in case you forget some common formulas that you can look at. Really, what we're going to need to know is the total volume of this box. So multiply all 3 dimensions, all 3 sides of this box together, and you're going to get a volume of 960 cubic centimeters. Okay? Now, be careful here. Even though we see that answer down here, that's not what they're really telling us to do. They want to know how many, let me change the color here, little cubes that have dimensions of 2 centimeters on each side. So really, this whole problem comes down to knowing the volume of these small cubes. 2 times 2 times 2, which each little cube is going to take up 8 cubic centimeters. So to find the answer, you're going to take 960 divided by 8 cubic centimeters. And when you do that, you get 120. So 120 small cubes will fit into this box. Okay, 17 is asking us to identify the equation that represents an exponential growth function. Hopefully you remember from algebra days that the graph of exponential growth looks like this. And if you need to, you can use a graphing calculator. Let me pull up my graphing calculator. If you type in y equals 3 raised to the x and you hit graph, you're going to see that A is the choice. This represents an exponential growth function, whereas the x values increase, your y values really start to go up very quickly. So A is the answer for 17. Okay, number 18 is asking us to write an equation of this line. Now I'm going to show you how to do this if this wasn't a multiple choice. So I'm going to show you the long way first, but then I'm also going to show you a technique that you can use. Since this is multiple choice, you can just eliminate some of the choices and find the correct answer. But really, long way is y equals mx plus b. We can see from this graph that it's crossing the y-axis at positive 4. The slope of this line, rise over run, it's a negative slope because it's going downhill. I go down 1 over 2, which leaves a slope of negative 1/2. So my equation in slope-intercept form is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. Now all my answers are in standard form, so I need to go from slope-intercept form to standard form, which is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are integers. So that requires that I have to add 1/2 x to both sides. So I have my x and y on the same side of the equal sign. And now to make the 1/2 into an integer, I can multiply everything, both sides, by 2. So that's going to give us x plus 2y equals 8. Answer is G. Okay? But let me just show you this real quickly. Look at all our choices are in standard form. The nice thing about standard form is if you cover up the x term and solve for y, you're going to see the y-intercept. So for E, the y-intercept is 4, and that does match up with the line provided. But if I cover up the y term and solve for x, I'm going to see that for choice E, it's saying that the x-intercept should be 4. So E is not the choice. I can eliminate that one. I go down to F. I cover up the y term, solve for x. It's saying, once again, saying the x-intercept should be 4. Not the case here. So if you check G, our answer, we're going to see that the y-intercept is 4. If I solve for y, you get y equals 4. And when I cover up the y term and solve for x, I get x equals 8. So this G clearly checks. G is our answer. Okay, question number 19 comes down to some common sense. We need to pick out the statement that has to always be true based on the conditions. Well, the conditions are we buy 2 items that have different prices and we paid $60. So when you read these choices, B is the only one that has to be true. At least one of the items costs more than $30. That has to be the situation since we only bought 2 items and we're told that they equal $60 and we're told that the prices are different, so they can't be 30 and 30. So one item has to be larger or greater than $30. Okay, number 20 is asking us to pick the graph that represents a normal curve. Well, normal distribution is bell-shaped curve that's symmetrical, and the curve does not cross the x-axis, which leaves us with E. Hopefully 21's a fairly easy problem to visualize. We're going to be rotating this triangle about the x-axis. So if we rotate about the x-axis, we're going to end up with a cone-shaped figure that has a diameter of 6. So from here to here is 3, another 3 that's being rotated around, choice A. A cone with a diameter equal to 6. Okay, number 22 is another probability question. For 22, I definitely recommend drawing a picture. Now this picture is not going to be to scale, but I have a cake that is 9 inches by 13 inches. So the total area of this cake is going to be 117. That's going to be my denominator. And then we're told that we have 6 circular balloons that are on top of this. Again, this is not drawn to scale. Each balloon, each circle has a radius of 1/2 inch. So I have 6 of these. So I'm going to quickly draw 6 circles on my cake. And really what I need to do to find the probability of a fly landing on one of these circular balloons is to take 6 times area of a circle is pi r squared. So my radius is 1/2. So pi r squared. When you use a calculator, take 6 times pi times 1/2 squared, it's going to come out to 4.7. And then I'm going to take 4.7 divided by 117, and you will get about 0.04, which is 4%. Now, if you would draw this to actually scale, you're actually going to see that the balloons take up a small portion of the overall cake. But the answer is F. Okay, number 23 is asking about amplitude. Now, you need to know that amplitude is really half the distance from the maximum point on a curve to the minimum point. So, again, if you have no clue about what this looks like and you have a graphing calculator, even if you never had trig before, you can pull up your graphing calculator, go to the y = screen, and type in exactly what you see. So when you hit graph, you're going to see these waves. And really, amplitude is really the half the distance from the highest point, which in this graph is going to be 8, and its lowest point, which is -8. The distance is 16, so the amplitude is going to be half of that, which in this case, it's going to be 8. Okay, so really that's going to be a tough question if you never were exposed to any type of trig functions before. Okay, question number 24 is going to be our last question for this video. We have a parallelogram. They tell us AB is 3x minus 4. We're told that BC is x plus 5, and CD is 2x plus 10. And the answer is going to be, what is BC? So really, we need to know what x is to be able to find the value of BC. Fortunately, we're given enough information. Hopefully you remember that opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent, so I can set 3x minus 4 equal to the 2x plus 10, and we can solve for x. So this is a relatively easy equation to solve for. I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides, and I'm going to add 4. So let me quickly show you that. So I'm going to subtract the 2x on both sides of my equal sign. I'm going to add 4, and when you do that, you're left with 1x equals 14. So if x is 14, BC has to be 14 plus 5, which is 19. So letter F. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check my website for other videos. And if you need any help, please contact me. Thank you.